Is the quality of your team perceived as not up to standards? I'm going to offer a few suggestions. Hi, I'm Peter Nichol, Data Science CIO. One of the challenges we have is managing expectations. A lot of times we try to give our teams the benefit of the doubt. We encourage them to produce high quality artifacts, whether that's data models or data mining analytics or project plans from a project and portfolio management perspective. Regardless, we're trying to give them the benefit to provide those quality deliverables so that we can meet or exceed the stakeholders' expectations. Sometimes that's just not possible. I want to introduce the idea of portfolio staff leveling. And the idea behind portfolio staff leveling is to ensure that your team has the ability to meet quality standards. So if your team is allocated at 110%, and the team currently is perceived as not meeting quality standards, either the project plans aren't detailed enough or the business requirements aren't elaborated to the degree that's required, it's going to be very hard to have that individual or resource add any type of extra effort in because they're already maxed out. So what that means is you have to provide a type of leveling. Instead of taking every initiative or project at face value and saying we're going to provide all the artifacts, you have to start to think about what artifacts are necessary based on the size of the work. If the program is a multi-year, multi-million-dollar effort, you probably need some due diligence. If that project is architecturally significant, again, you probably need some due diligence and some additional documentation for compliance and audit. Inversely, if that project is 2 or 3 weeks long, probably doesn't make a good argument to build a detailed communication plan or elaborate a complicated architecture document when it's not really significantly impacting architecture. And when we apply this into a team dynamic perspective, what it means is you need to start to evaluate individuals on your team and what they're actually allocated to and where the gap is in terms of quality. So if they're allocated 100%, they're going to have no additional time to be able to raise up or dial up their experience and increase that quality. On the other hand, if they're 80% allocated or 85% allocated, they now have some additional time to think, to be strategic, to plan that next week or month activities ahead of time, regardless of what type of role they're in. So when you're trying to align expectations, and if your team's being perceived as not delivering quality products, make sure that your team has the allocation to be effective. A lot of times I go into teams or I'm brought in to evaluate a team that's not performing, and what you realize is they're maxed out. They're working 50, 60, or 70 hours or more a week, but they're not able to think, to be able to surface and be able to focus on increasing that quality because they were just allocated and given too much work. So as you jump off this week and start to look at your team and start to align the quality to the expectations of the executives you support, think about it for a second if the team you support really has the ability to increase their quality or not. Hi, I'm Peter Nichol, Data Science CIO. Have a great week.